And we are back for the first men's quarterfinal of the day between Ahmed Hosyny and Hazem Helmy. I am joined in commentary by Clinton Liu again. Thanks for joining me. The winner of this match will, of course, play the winner of tonight's final game between second seed Yusuf Ibrahim and 8th seed Khaled Labib. Also another pair of Egyptians. 5 Egyptians making the quarterfinals here in the men's draw, and 3 in the ladies' draw. So 8 out of 16. Not totally surprising.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at almost any draw, be it juniors, seniors, World Opens, it's pretty standard that you'll see at least 4 or 5 Egyptians. There's always Egyptian contesting a semi, at least, if not a final as well. Getting a final wipe. That's often what happens also on one of these glass courts. The floor, the sweat tends to sit on the floor a little bit, so it needs to get wiped pretty often.
And we're underway. The third quarterfinal here at the Growthpoint SA Open.
Players will be looking to find their length early on, hit their lines.
So we have Helmy in the black and Hosny in the white. As you can see, Helmy is unseeded. He did beat the 5th seed Al Khatan on Tuesday. And with Hosny's seed, he had a bye on Monday, so he's only played 1 match so far.
Nice rally for the second rally of the match. As you can see, it looks like Hosny is really just trying to impose. He's the one looking to volley a little bit more, changing direction, hitting a little bit harder. Just trying to assert his dominance early on in this game. It'll be interesting to see if the Egyptians, the ladies' quarter yesterday between the 2 Egyptians was quite a feisty affair. It'll be interesting to see if these two get at it a little bit.
2-1 to Helmy.
Hosny missing a relative sitter there. So that's what you always try and do in squash. You always try and create the easy opportunities. You don't want to be taking too many risks. And Hosny creating an opportunity and then squandering it.
Well, that goes down. So handout with Helmy leading 3-2. And it's 3-all.
Great use of height there. Using gloves on a glass court is always so effective, because with the bright lights, it often just makes you doubt a little bit, messes up your timing a little bit.
These are both big guys. I see that Hosny is 187, 86 kgs.
Big
and Helmy doesn't seem to be far off and could possibly be bigger.
Great straight drop. So this court being at the coast, and also the way it plays, it's very severe in the front. But the gamble is, or the risk is, if you go short too early, somebody can always counter you. So you've always got to go short at the right times, because otherwise you think you're in a good position, but your opponent can just counter you, and then you're just giving away points.
So it's 5-3 to Hosny, the number 3 seed.
testing rally here. So again, as I was saying, even yesterday, you'll notice Hosny seems to be the one that's finding his length a little bit better. It's landing back of the service box slightly further, you know, and touching the back wall. He's really using the front wall a little bit better. It looks like Helmy is hitting too low on the front wall. And if you look on average, it looks like Hosny's drives are about, I think that will be a let. Hosny's drives are, you know, on and slightly above the service line, just to ensure that he's going to get the depth on the ball. Great use of the wrist there. Good flick, showing the straight drop, and then at the last second just rolling his wrist over and he's flicking it cross court. See again, just under the service line. Again.
8-4 to Hosny.
Again, players looking to build down the backhand wall.
Wow.
Great skill there, you know. He had so much time, so many options, and chooses one of the hardest shots to play, like the cross-court backhand drop. Shot.
And we've got game ball in this first game to the number 3 seed.
Another 10.
There you go. Hosny leading 1 game to love with an 11-4 win in the first game.
Helmy, to me, just seems like he's showing his lack of experience. Just a couple of unforced errors from nothing, you know, no reason for him to hit the tin. But I think he's just feeling the pressure. He feels like he needs to do something, you know. And that's often always the case, you know. He's taking more risk as opposed to being more patient, more conservative, and hitting better line and length.
So, what do you think Helmy needs to do in this?
Yeah, I would say he really needs to just start off by, you know, first of all, finding his length. He's not consistent enough on that length. Hosny just seems to be stepping across and just like, you know, applying the pressure. So I would suggest Helmy use a little bit more height, slow the game down just a tad, just so that he can find his range and his rhythm again. If not, you know, Hosny's going to just run away with this.
And we've got a really good crowd here, like we did yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single seat available.
Not a single one. That's why I'm commentating. I couldn't get a seat. It's the only way to watch the game.
I'd like to say best seats in the house, but we're watching off the screen. And we're back on.
Let's see if Helmy makes those adjustments. I don't know if anybody's been talking to him. Bit better. Great shot.
Well, Helmy taking the first point of the second game. And that's down, so it's 2-love. You will see our sponsors and associate sponsors scrolling in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Thanks to Dunlop for supplying the balls.
So although Helmy's up, to me, it doesn't look like made the adjustments. All he's doing is just hitting the ball harder. It's not finding his length though, and he's taking all the risk. You know, he really needs to just be a little bit more patient.
4-1 to Helmy.
But mind you, he's Egyptian. I think they're not known for their patience. They're really known for their accuracy and skill. I thought that was a little bit generous. Hosny hitting a very good line.
Hosny is protesting. Whoa! Not happy about the decision of the yes let. Why would he be upset about that?
Well, I'm sure he felt that he hit a very good line. The ball didn't clip the sidewall, and it looked like Helmy just ran into him and kind of pushed him towards the ball, as opposed to going towards the ball himself. So Helmy selling that one really nicely.
So yes let followed by no let. Unable to return the serve there. Helmy. So Hosny 3-4 down.
Yeah, great use of the wrist there. Really held the ball, forcing Hosny to commit his weight to a backhand straight drive, and then again last minute just flicking. That's such a hallmark of the Egyptians. Like, they've got a very, very high skill level. They do so much with the ball, such a lot of subtleties. Last minute flick of the wrist, last minute hold.
No lets there. 4-5 to Hosny.
So again, as you can see, Hosny starting to find his range, getting that ball to touch the back wall a bit more often than Helmy.
Nice shot from the back of the court there.
Should be a stroke.
There you go, stroke. Hosny unable to take on that without hitting his opponent.
Again, going for too much, to me, that's just showing that lack of experience. You know, he's just trying to force the point a little bit. It's a no-let.
Mr. Liu.
So I'm not in the hot seat there. I'm stricter. Great use of the lob. Again, just holding, having your opponent commit his weight, and then just flicking the ball. And that's really such a taxing movement, because every time he's got to accelerate from a stationary position, as opposed to just using your momentum.
Oh, great rally.
Hosny getting a little taste of his own medicine there, being deceived by the hold and flick. Great shot. Helmy again starting to find that length, and that's the thing that I've been talking about. If he can get that, he's going to really, really ask some serious questions of Hosny. Notice how I didn't say anything there, because I've been wrong so many times. I don't want to preempt the refs. A little bit more patient from both players. They're realizing this is a big Helmy finding the back wall nick. Sometimes after a big rally, that's what you want, because it just a little bit of luck can really swing the momentum in your favor. So that was a big point. It would have meant, if Hosny had won that, he would have gone 8-6 up, and now it's 7-all in the second game. It's you know, there's not really much in it. This is still pretty even. I think Hosny's got to really make a big push here. He's really going to take the wind out of Helmy's sails if he can win this game, because Helmy's starting to put in a bit more of a physical effort. He's going to be winded after this one, so if he's 2 love down and winded, it's tough to come back from that.
A nice tight one here.
Great shot.
And that'll be 8-all. Just what the crowd wanted. The opening match of the day. Molnay Low took it pretty easily. So now we're seeing some nice competitive squash between these two Egyptians.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Molnay's match, the score doesn't really reflect how hard it was. I think she put in such a good mental effort. She was very disciplined, very patient. So made it look easy, but I guarantee if you ask her, it wasn't, because there's such fine margins. You know, had she made a few different decisions, made 1 or 2 errors, all of a sudden she could have been 2-1 down, or could have been 2-all. But that's the mark of good players. You know, they make the hard things look easy. You know, it's like watching.
So Helmy 9-8 up.
Nice tight work. Oh.
Sorry, there you go. It's 9-8 now. It was 8-all, so Helmy taking that 1-point lead.
Crucial mistake there. They would have, taken it 10-8. It's a big error to make.
Oh, that hit the corner and came straight back at Helmy.
10-8.
10-8. Game ball.
Looks like there was a good little comeback.
Helmy's saying he couldn't play at that because Hosny was in his line of shot.
I was scared of hitting Hosny. I think that's the right call. Oh, great shot. Hosny fighting back, trying to use his experience there. He really just feathered that drop in. Made it really difficult for Helmy to get something on it.
Oh, nice shot.
I think that was the right call. I think at least 2 of those were doubled.
So Hosny saying that bounced twice.
Yeah.
Ahead of Helmy.
That's why he had his hand up. He was just signaling to the ref.
And no protestation from Helmy, so that was obviously the case. So 10-all. It'll be first to 12 now, at the very least. Yes, let's replay there.
So Hosny, it looks to me like he's attempting to go short quite often. So what happens when you're playing a tall player, I think I mentioned to you yesterday, great shot, great touch, is if you take them short, low, they really struggle from being tall, like struggle to get down to the ball. So it's a very severe movement for them. So you saw in the previous point, he went short about 3 or 4 times in a row. And that just gets into your opponent's legs.
Wow, after having a few game balls, Helmy will be very disappointed with that. Hosny fighting back to take it 12-10 and is now leading 2-love in this third men's quarterfinal.
That was a big game for him to win. He needed that.
As you can see, it's a packed V A Waterfront here. You literally cannot buy a seat. Literally, there were no tickets. You couldn't buy them. So it's first come, first serve. And there are plenty of people standing up on the balcony above the court. There are our referee and our marker.
Yeah, good little comeback from Helmy. I felt he was a bit more positive. He found his length a little bit. I still feel it was a little bit inconsistent, so that was good. But I think he really needed that game. I think he's going to struggle to come back from 2 games down against Hosny, who I think is going to just start asserting his dominance a little bit more. He's going to play like somebody that's 2 levels up now, you know. I mean, I did see first on court, he's just trying to show his opponent he's ready to go. You know, I think a little bit of the old the mind games going on here. He says, I'm ready. I don't need the full 2 minutes to recover.
I suppose the only thing Helmy can do at this point is forget about giving that one up and say to himself, look, he could have won it, and that he's capable.
Yeah. He's got to really just use that and try and build some momentum, build on that previous game. And all he needs to just focus on is just getting one game at a time. 1 point at a time and 1 game at a time.
Hosny concedes the first match.
Should be a stroke.
And Liu is saying stroke, and there you go. 1-1.
First one I got right tonight.
Delicate from these big guys. Stroke Helmy. What happened there?
I didn't actually see the camera angle was a little bit. So they showed that from the front. It would be interesting to see what it was like from the back. But I can only think the referee was thinking that Hosny overhit his drop shot, so he came back quite far. It's forcing.
2-2.
Moves very quickly for a big guy, does Helmy. Very explosive, you know. Should be a lit.
3-2.
Helmy not happy with that.
I think he's just venting a little bit. There's no ways that should be a stroke. Nice use of the lob again. Great power. Helmy again taking a 2-point lead. Really looks like he's building. Really trying to get on with the game. You know, doesn't really want the rallies to be too long. Just as soon as the decision's made, wants the ball, wants to play.
6-2.
Not really giving Hosny some time to settle.
So Helmy taking a nice lead here. And that's out of the court.
I think this little break will really help Hosny just to settle a little bit, breaks the momentum. It's not what Helmy needed. You can see Hosny just taking his time, getting the mind right, refocusing.
And that's out from Hosny this time. 7-3 to the unseeded Helmy.
Great shot. It kind of looks to me like Hosny is a little winded because the rally length is kind of shortened and he's taking so much more risk now. If you notice all the points he's trying to win at the front, whereas before he was really, it was effective. Great cross-court backhand neck. Before it was effective because he was finding his length, but now he's dropped it just a tad short. And Helmy with his long legs can just step across a little bit more easier. Well, he's a bit more comfortable, just like that.
We're at 7-all. Helmy did have a 4-point lead. Oh, some beautiful boasting there.
Oh, great.
That's some good
Great
stuff, that.
Should be a lit.
Stroke 8-all.
1 from 2. Great depth, straight. Oh, just got a little bit tentative on that shot. I think he was really looking for the winner as opposed to just playing the shot in. I mean, it's easier said than done. I do that a lot when I play, so can't fault him for that. Great shot. Really like how he gets his racket back early on the backhand side, shapes like he's going to hit down the wall, and at the last second again, just fades the ball cross court.
Another tight one here. 9-all in the third, with Hosny leading 2-love.
Great depth.
Helmy being scuppered by the back wall there. And this is match ball to the number 3 seed, Ahmed Hosyny. Holding on for dear life here, Helmy. He cannot make an error.
Should be a stroke. I actually should stop saying something.
And that's yes, let. Okay, replay that one. I somehow agree with you, but yeah. I'm not the expert.
Apparently neither am I. Great shot.
And that is that. Number 3 seed Ahmed Hosyny wins the third 11-9 and takes the match 3-love, moving through to tomorrow's semi-finals. He'll take on the winner of between Ibrahim and Labib, and Rodney Durbach will join me later for that. A quick summary from you, Clint.
Yeah, you know, I feel Helmy had his chances. You saw second game was 10. He lost it by 2 points. Again, third game lost by 2 points, and he was up in both of those games. So he just needed to stick to his game plan. I just felt like he dropped his length a little bit and didn't really build on the momentum well enough that he had built in the second game.
Okay. Next up, we have the last women's quarterfinal between Anna Serm and Marie Stefan. That'll be coming your way in about 10 or 15 minutes.